Here he's kind of desperately trying to do it whilst trying to avoid things that might cause issues in these legal troubles that he's now got, and it's kind of just falling apart at the seams, and people are broadly seeing through it, I think, and are being a bit more questioning of this behaviour. To me, it comes across like, by the way, I've got this. By the way, I've got this, just to remind you, I've got this. Yeah, like a tread lightly. Yeah, an implicit threat. I think an implicit threat is a reasonable way of, you know. That's it. Well, it's comparable because Extreme Dad was living in the trailer at the time. It was his, like, abode, essentially. Because he's dirt poor white trash, essentially. Anyway, there's no evidence of it happening. There's no evidence of it happening, so it didn't happen as far as I'm concerned, okay? You guys are full of it. You guys are full of it. And it was also, I was personally annoyed with him because I think he'd been dishonest about some of this. I can't remember what it was, dude. It was obviously completely excessive and unreasonable, but it was very funny. So make of that what you will. Okay, before we get into this Lonerbox stuff, I am kind of, you know, bored of this Destiny shit, but I just want to cover these updates, and I'm going to lazily allow Queen. Also, Queeman actually specifically requested more Destiny coverage because I was talking about the Lonerbox allegations that have just come out. So let's just have a quick look at this first.
Ira.
Because Queeman has done such good coverage, and I'm feeling very lazy today, and I can't be bothered to go and dig this all up myself. We're just going to watch his coverage.
Off depressed people.
Doom told IFAP that cuisines added nothing to video games. Mauler and Rags asked for clarification. He defaulted to his 3-decade gamer status.
Thank you for the $5. What about the insane Tommy C situation? Tommy C is on like the precipice of a fucking nervous breakdown over the fucking psyop shit that people are doing, okay? So, no, we're not going over the Tommy C stuff, okay? Basically, long story short, Dickers was doing some stupid shit about Kel. And I don't know, dude. Tommy C's like made out like it's a chudlogic orbiter doing this. I don't know. The guy's... I've not heard from him. The craziest thing about it is he's not even messaged me about any of this and said, oh, what's going on? And I'd say, oh, some people are being shitters in my community trying to fuck with you. So I don't know what's going on with the guy. He's a bit, you know, he's got some issues. I don't know what's going on. It's Dickers. It's Dickers. It's Dickers. I mean, I am jokingly acting like I'm participating in it because it's funny, but I'm actually not, to be clear, okay? Anyway, that's a summary of the Tommy C stuff, all right? Anyway, there were new leaks. I talked about this yesterday, but Queeman also goes over the cope, so we'll quickly watch this before we get into the Lonerbox stuff, okay?
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Tommy C will defend his 14-year-old plaything forever.
Okay, that's a bit much, but thank you very much for the $5. I see the West Side Tyler Sunday I got me from last night. Yes, I did see that. I mean, dude, I watched a bit of it on Aiden's stream. I'm not sure if I'm that interested in it. Tyler just comes across as a massive attention seeker. At first, I thought Tyler was funny. I thought he was like a funny guy. But, I don't know, the way he acts, he just comes across as a massive attention seeker, desperate to get some sort of, like, you know, well, attention on him, really. He's not an attention seeker. Well, what is he then? He just makes all these insane, grandiose statements. Apparently, he was calling the spicy chat full of pedos or something like that. Which, I mean, you know, to be fair, to be fair,
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Guys, please lay off gang-stalking Tommy C. Don't you know he is a 3-star general of the army kitchen? Show some respect and salute a veteran cook.
Okay, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I generally speaking, I'm happy to obviously talk to people if I've got some issue with something they've said or, you know, something like that. But when people are like saying just insane shit and then you watch their debate and they're just screeching for 2 hours, just doesn't really seem worth engaging with. It's like engaging with the troll. You know, it's not worth it. But good luck. Good luck in his content endeavors. Anyway, this here is obviously a fresh leak in regards to Destiny, right? And Queenman went over it, and he also showed some of the cope. So we'll watch this, and then we'll get into the Lonerbox stuff. Is it muted?
Okay.
Bro. Most talkative Queenman stream.
So this is the first Destiny leak. This has been kicking around in Discord, I guess, and has now been brought to the forefront. Let's read. Let's see what he was saying here. This is.
I started following Chud 5 years ago on Twitch. This is the first time I've checked on a stream here since then, and he's still only got about the same amount of concurrence.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Tommy C flirted with a 14-year-old? That's beyond messed up, man. People should cover that more.
Thank you very much for the super chat. If I didn't know about the massive YouTube audience, I would have thought he never blew up. Yeah, dude, I get people that come in to like the Twitch chat, and they very smugly are kind of like, haha, wow, you've only got 70 viewers. It's like, okay, but I've got like quite a few more on YouTube, so I don't really know what you're trying to do here. But, you know, now that chat is fine. That chat is fine. They're chilling. But people like want to try and act like, you know, oh, you're not doing very well, are you? 5 years ago, Chud was at 130. Probably, something like that. The max average viewership I got up to on Twitch was about 600. That was my top average viewership month, I think. And now we're hitting 1,000, 1,500, something like that. So hopefully, may it long continue. We will see. We will see. I fell off. Very true. Anyway. Yes, so these leaks are... Anyway,
Destiny sexting some random woman you met on Discord. I assume. Oof, I mean... I guess now that some shit has leaked, Lamau, if you want videos of me eating, I've got them. And then, like, a little... It's got, like, it's like a naughty face going on here. It's like a devious face.
Very devious little face there. I'll fill in the dead air, don't you worry.
This is a 36-year-old man. They say, I see a lot of stuff I haven't done before, but it seems fun, but I'm not something.
Can we get some devious faces
and yeah,
in chat?
I know what you mean. Teaching someone something new can be a hot/kinky thing in and of itself, but it's super important to be with someone who's patient and all that. And they reply, ha 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 ha, no, don't show me that. Those are super private, and I can't even imagine how it feels to have something so private be so public, even if you're poly and very sexual in general. So they turn it down. They turn it down. So let's analyze this. What's really going on here? Why do we care about this? So do we particularly care that Destiny is directing people towards already leaked content that has been posted on like Twitter and shit? Not massively. Does it kind of speak to a mind state that he's not that bothered that it's out there? I guess. But I don't particularly... Once it's out there, I don't think anyone's particularly invested in, you know, or you directed someone towards it when you were sexting with them. It's like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not the fucking end of the world. However, the bigger problem here, the more contradictory thing that's happening here, is that this is on, obviously, as people are saying, the 9th of January, 2025.
See, I don't even know if I fully... I don't know if I agree with that exactly, because even though it's out there already, they may not know about that, and you're still potentially bringing further attention to it, right? Like, I don't think it's... I mean, it's just worth noting, I think, that, you know, clearly he's not concerned about it because he's happy to draw more attention to it, you know? So I'm just like, I still think that it's just further indication of his lack of remorse or concern about this, you know? They know, but then they respond with like, no, don't show me that. So presumably, you know, they're not completely in the loop. I wouldn't have thought, but
Destiny, obviously, has tried to tell his audience, tell all of us, lie to all of us, lie to
and it's like if you think about it from the victim's perspective, from their perspective, imagine hearing this is happening. Well, it's probably going to be upsetting for you, the knowledge that the person that started this all off with their actions is willing to further draw attention to it and doesn't seem particularly concerned about, you know, your well-being. And yeah, it feels like he is saying himself is going to send it, right? Like he would directly send it in this message here.
the world. That he got on Vyvanse, it killed his libido.
Yes.
He doesn't go around doing crazy shit with crazy women anymore. He's very...
Give Kiwi Farms their credit. I mean, I feel I will always try and credit Kiwi Farms, and also Creamer will as well. So I think you're just mad at a problem that doesn't exist, to be honest with you.
very muted in his sexual interest.
Here at least. Here at least.
He likes just, you know, keeping it simple. So why the fuck are you in Discord sexting with some random woman who has now leaked your DMs again, directing her towards the leaked videos of you sucking dick? That doesn't sound like you're in a better place, like you're fixed, that you're cured. That's not how that comes across at all.
Yeah, exactly. I've got them. Suggest I have got them now, and I can send them to you rather than go and check here. But...
So there is another aspect here. There's another aspect. There's another angle that's interesting, which is obviously Pixie, in her statement, alleges that because of not only Destiny's position and reputation as like a relationship guru guy who's like debating red pillars on how you should respect women and respect consent and all this stuff, but also he was very, you know, like welcoming, not really welcoming, like reassuring, very reassuring to her in terms of like, oh, we can try new stuff, it'll be okay. You know, she wanted to experiment or whatever she said, and he was very reassuring, was like, I can be a safe person for that. No, that's not what he's saying. Wait.
Oh no. More dead air. More dead air. No. Oh dear.
I don't know if he is saying that first, T. You're just spazzing out. You keep saying this in chat, but I don't read that. And you'll get timed out if you keep being annoying, because I'm not dealing with it. So, yeah, the other aspect is that obviously Pixie said he was very reassuring and tried to make her feel comfortable with doing this stuff. And here you can see, yeah, I know what you mean. Teaching someone new something, okay, can be a hot/kinky thing in and of itself. But it's super important to be with someone who's patient and all that. It's very much trying to come across as like, oh, listen, I get it. I get you might be apprehensive. It's okay. That's the vibe here. That is the vibe here.
Yeah, I'd say, dude. It was someone on my Discord. It was Creepy Uncle in my Discord that referred to the behavior as grooming. Now, I personally don't like the idea of referring to grooming when it comes to like an adult. I think that tends to be excessive. But I think the idea was of like sending some of these tapes was like, you know, oh, here's what me and the other orbiters get up to. Do you know what I mean? So if you want to get involved, here's what me and the other orbiters do together. So maybe a bit of a stretch, I don't know, but it definitely there's something to that, I think. The idea that you're kind of like looping people in by sending them footage of you participating in sex acts with other people that are also associated in some way.
So it seems like he's also posted in DGG chat to respond to this leak. So let's see. So, the videos are literally posted on KF that are being blasted to the entire world, Lamfowl. Anyone who is virtue signaling about caring about public videos that are still hosted on a website after this girl who has been thirsting for me for like a year starts to flirt with me in DMs and then runs to Jstalk's Discord is actually insane. Lol W.
So, yeah. Basically, the key point here is the distraction away from the key point. One of the defenses Destiny has issued for himself is that because he's on Vyvanse, this has prevented this behavior. Like, he doesn't do this anymore. He doesn't participate in this behavior. And yet, lo and behold, we have got a message from January when he claims is after the behavior has stopped of him participating in exactly the same behavior as he has before. So it's just clearly dishonest from Destiny to say that this is old behavior when he's doing it now. And I mean, this is just, I mean, is his lawyer going to be comfortable with this? Him spurging out in chat?
Money off depressed people.
Listening to Guiman lift kiwi farms without credit is like listening to Brighton Bath turd Minecraft shitter like Tubbo. Chud please, no more vacations.
Guys, I've got to take breaks at some point. Okay, I can't just endlessly do this all the time. Okay, we've got to have some time off every now and then. So yeah, and I think that again, it's like the other issue that you've got, the other issue we've got, that Destiny's got, is that he's now having to in real time rapidly craft the narratives, and I think because it's happening so regularly and repeatedly as this new stuff is cropping up, it really starts to like fall apart at the seams and look ridiculous and look absurd. And it's like, you know, everyone's just insane. Everyone is just insane. Now, it could be true that they had like a consensual conversation or something like that, whatever the case may be. But the point is not that you're necessarily having it in and of itself. It's the context in which you're having it. A point at which you've said you no longer engage in this behavior. And you were dismissive of the idea of needing some sort of sex-based therapy because you said you weren't doing this anymore because you're on Vyvanse. But you are still doing it. You're still engaging and participating in the same behavior. So clearly the problem isn't solved. And now you're trying to divert away from what you can fairly discern from this to make out like it's the problem is specifically just about the sharing of the videos. I think that is an issue. Also, this idea that they're public. They're publicly available, but the idea that they're public, I'm not so sure about. Maybe on X, people were posting them, but primarily they exist on Kiwi farms, which isn't something that people are necessarily going to... I wouldn't think of something being on Kiwi farms as being public. I wouldn't think of something as being on, like, public in the way that it's, like, broadly available on a bigger platform. Do you see what I mean? Does that make sense? So it's like... just feels like it's kind of like downplaying it a bit when it's like, well, you're still offering to distribute them further, even if they are available in some fashion on the internet somewhere, you know?
So again, this is just pure deflection. This is just trying to put it on the idea that it's already leaked. Oh, it's just someone flirting with me. Like, dude, the point is that you lied. You were saying that you were completely fixed, that this shit wasn't happening anymore, that you didn't do crazy, degenerate sexual shit with tons of women anymore. You're way more muted and chill, and you're not, this sort of crazy shit isn't going to happen again. But you were literally doing it like 2 weeks ago. You're probably still doing it now. Let's be serious.
Yeah, exactly.
That's obviously the point. Jstalk is trying to milk out the last of his streaming career. He has been desperately messaging every girl who's ever been in his Discord server, asking them if we've traded material or if they want to make a statement. Okay.
Another thing that I think is happening here, and I know that there's some people from my community that don't like Jstalk, right? Which I get. I understand the idea there. Okay. But it's very, and I am on Jstalk's side 100% because it's very clear to me that Jstalk is being smeared by Destiny because he sees Jstalk as the biggest threat to more stuff coming out. So if he can get it to a point where people think that Jstalk is just some psycho that is trying to milk this drama for as much as it's worth, it will allow the narrative that you can just ignore what Jstalk is doing or what Jstalk is saying. You know? And I think he sees Jstalk as a threat because, I mean, he is. He's got the most access to some of the closest people who are going to be able to release stuff that is damaging to Destiny. I mean, I'm pretty sure, if I'm thinking correctly here, I'm pretty sure this screenshot was leaked in Jstalk's server. So that just shows that this now has caused a bit more damage, and now he's further trying to smear because he recognizes what a potential risk this could be, you know? And he's trying to paint it as Jstalk is some deranged person and his server is full of schizos that are just trying to shit on him. Whereas the reality of it is, there was a connection between Jstalk and Destiny, and there was a kind of somewhat points criticizable thing. Don't get me wrong, Jstalk is absolutely a massive like sweeper for Destiny, but there was absolutely more allowance for criticism of Destiny than there is in like the DGG side of it. And now this has happened, it's kind of activated a lot of people to go, damn, Destiny's actually a real fucking piece of shit. So I think this is going to escalate and more stuff is going to come out, and Destiny is going to further try and diminish Jstalk and smear him so that it looks like he's some sort of deranged person with a deranged fan base. When it's not really that. It is more so just Jstalk coming to terms with what a shitter Destiny is, and people that are there from the community that have engaged in stuff with Destiny are going to have information that could, you know, damage him. And also, I think this is another good point, is by smearing Jstalk, you're also serving the purpose of kind of discreetly smearing Cherry as well, because Jstalk is one of the, you know, obviously Cherry's made a statement about what's going on as best she can, and Jstalk has been very vocal in supporting Cherry, and in fact cut ties with Destiny over Cherry. So there's a side benefit here that there's a kind of soft smear of Cherry happening when you shit on Jstalk so hard too.
I don't believe that. Show evidence if that's the case. I don't think Jstalk would be out there like making first contact to solicit statements from people. So feel free. I would like to see Destiny post that. I do not believe Jstalk's doing that.
So I want to point something else out as well. Okay. Apparently every single guy who's ever hugged Destiny DMs is now on Jstalk's server talking about how relative I am. Oh yeah, he has been desperately messaging every girl who has ever been in his Discord. Now, this is a difficult point because it is somewhat true for the other individual. But what does that remind you of? That comment about how he's desperately messaging every girl. What other character from the Destiny-verse got past has been labelled with that? Well, obviously it's Mr. Girl, isn't it? Now, it is somewhat true that Mr. Girl was engaging in this behaviour. So what it is more so is that he is trying to tap in, I think, to the perception of Mr. Girl in order to smear Jstalk as a Mr. Girl-esque figure, because that's a hated figure in DGG that can be drawn upon for easy hatred points. So I think he's, tapping into that as well. And I think alongside that, he's also talking about how, oh, look, Mr. Girl's allowed in the server, Lab's allowed in the server. He's basically trying to, while simultaneously painting Jstalk as another Mr. Girl, pointing out that he's got this connection with him, because it further smears him as like an ex-fan hater type thing, you know? So, yeah, I think that there's a very considered, it's more, Destiny is relying on the things that he's done in the past that have worked for him, but he's doing it in a much less precise way, and he's having to do it quite rapidly because of all of this stuff that's coming out. And I think that's why where previously he's done like a manifesto, like the Bob 7 stuff, not that I know all the ins and outs of it, and he's been able to look very good and put it out in the right way. Here he's kind of desperately trying to do it whilst trying to avoid things that might cause issues in these legal troubles that he's now got, and it's kind of just falling apart at the seams, and people are broadly seeing through it, I think, and are being a bit more questioning of this behaviour, you know? Like it comes across as very frantic here, exactly. And also another aspect too is like some of this stuff here, I'm not a legal expert, right? But all the people that are in Jstalk's server are potentially victims or witnesses to some of this behaviour that may come up in this litigation. And so could this not maybe count as like some sort of intimidation tactic. I don't know how it works exactly, but this just seems like all of this is the exact sort of thing you don't want to be doing if you've got legal issues, because this could be used against you and to paint you as doing some sort of intimidation tactic. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Ranting on Discord. No. This is DGG chat, first of all, and secondly, these are statements. These are statements that can be used against you, right?
I can imagine. I can see instances that maybe girls will come to the Jstalk. I could see that totally happening. I don't believe Jstalk is going around soliciting for statements. Yeah, he's trying to do it's just the same Mr. Girl tactic. Oh, he's talking to everyone I know.
Not pre-watched. Not pre-watched.
I'm not going to play this game with every person because apparently every single girl who's ever hardcore thirsted at me in DMs is now in Jstalk server talking about how manipulative I am, even when it's just them constantly thirsting after me. Dude, what? So now it's changed. One message to the next. Desperately messaging every girl to, I'm not going to play this game with every person because apparently every single girl who's ever hardcore thirsted at me in DMs is now in Jstalk server. So is it that Jstalk is soliciting all the women who are already in his Discord to make statements? Or is it that every woman that's ever flirted with you is flocking to Jstalk server and suddenly just randomly talking about how manipulative you are? Like, this is fucking absurd. What an absurd story to spin up. He's talking about Psycho and Stasia, who have both been in there for like a year. Isn't Stasia literally one of the people in the leaks? Didn't she get fucked over by this guy? She announced on Twitter the other day that she was taking legal action or whatever.
Yep.
So there's legal shit happening. Like, yeah, no shit, she probably fucking hates you, dude. What's the image link? The image link?
Even worse, venting on DGG chat. I'm just saying that people vent their frustration to their friends or whatever, but after doing so, they could be calmed down and be more reasonable. What does it matter the purpose of this? I disagree that it's just
wonderful.
venting. I think there's an intent here.
Money off depressed people.
Isn't insulting JSLTK's crowd silly because you three had some form of an overlap? He's just insulting the people that don't buy his story. Ridiculous, angry face, skull,
Yeah.
Tengu.
Well, there's people in Jstalk server who are like simultaneously fans of Jstalk and Destiny, but now a lot of them are sort of more critical of Destiny, and so he's driving more people that direction. But yeah, he's obviously just trying to smear the whole thing as some sort of op against him, you know? More dead air, I'm afraid. Come on, Creeman,
These
speak.
people are fucking insane.
Speak.
I don't care anymore. I want to do hours and hours of streaming over these fucking crazy people saying insane shit in Jstalk server. What? His side of the logs.
And I think if you know, looking from the outside in, it's very clear. If you're not totally fucking mind raped, still knotted, super hard, it's clear, and you can notice the pattern of how he's done it before. You know, is a very intentional thing here, and it's become so clear. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to control the narrative. He's struggling because of the sheer weight that's against him, but he is doing the same sort of tactics and the same sort of strategies that he normally does. You know, including this kind of deflection away down here of like, oh, why would you care about this? It's all public anyway. And it's like, yeah, but you previously claimed that you don't do this anymore, and you clearly do. But that isn't addressed, of course. What is...
Wait, but he's redacted messages here, right? But he's deleted messages.
Oh, dear.
Hasn't he? Merc came for you, no, not again. We've got to get you away from crazy girls. Original message was deleted. Even if you did, who cares? It's shitty out someone for making advantage.
Is there anything inherently wrong with controlling the narrative? That sounds like a very sweepy question. Being dishonestly trying to twist narratives that are perpetuating about
Okay,
you
that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
but is like, thank you very much for the $2. Is very manipulative. There's an attempt to manipulate public perception, you know? Obviously, if you're being unreasonably accused of something and you respond to it and say, here's my side of it, that's fine, right? But when you're in the midst of your community and you're trying to control the narrative amongst your kind of core fan base, it comes across as quite cult-like. It does come across as quite cult-like to me, you know? And then also, the other problem too is in trying to control the narrative, exactly, he's then smearing this person. And whilst also he's leaked these logs, but he's deleted his own side of it. So we don't actually see what the backwards and forwards is here.
Answer you, especially with someone you trust. I wouldn't stress over it. That was so unnecessary.
We hit the goal.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Okay. Well, Steve, I have the best news for you. I'm a trustworthy person, and I don't out advances. I'm close in spirit. Yeah, but this isn't outing advances. Okay, what is this guy leaking this for? Probably a lot of stress rate. So much. Okay, being a person bring some stress. So, why is he leaking this? This doesn't do anything for the narrative that she was presenting.
I think the reality. Well, first of all, and I did see a bit of this. This is weird. Well, not weird.
Well, this doesn't do anything for the narrative.
So you see, there's an image here, right? Presumably, this is some sort of nude or lewd or something like that, right? Now, obviously, he's not showing the actual material of what it is. But to me, it comes across like, by the way, I've got this. By the way, I've got this. Just to remind you, I've got this. So, you know, just to let you know, I've got this available. Yeah, like a tread lightly. Like it's like, yeah, an implicit threat. I think an implicit threat is a reasonable way of, you know, because why include this? If you wanted to release these text messages, you could just cut it off here, and that would be, you know, whatever. You're just releasing something to back up your side. But the messages don't really do anything anyway. But you could do that.
How do I make money off depressed people?
Why do you think Warman get with Diddy Destiny after knowing he blows men? Cloud can't be a strong enough reason. _chudbobiok _chudbobiok.
Thank you for the super chat. Such a reach. Okay, if this is a reach, explain to me why he has included this when he didn't need to and he could have cut it off sooner. This is a screenshot that he could have edited to not include this. Why has he included this then? Which just seems to be the top half of a nude or lewd image. Or even if it's clothed, their face. Like you're saying that you've got an image of their face, right? Okay, you're saying it's a reach. Someone's already said that in chat. I understand that's what you're trying to claim that I'm doing. I'm saying to you, can you explain to me? Because that's how I'm interpreting that on the basis of this image being included. So, what am I reaching exactly? Why else is this included then? What is the purpose of including this if it's not some sort of implicit threat of I've got this image, don't forget.
For the narrative that she was presenting. Because the whole point of leaking
is to show the person was consensually sexting him and not being manipulated like they claimed. Okay, but you don't need to include the image to do that, do you? The other messages are adequate to demonstrate that.
That set of DMs was to show that he's still A, engaging that way, and B, directing people towards the leaks, right? I assume was what she was trying to show. But you don't prove anything by just saying, well, she was talking to me. Well, she wanted to fuck me. What does that prove?
And also, that's true as well. If he wanted to demonstrate that they were sexting, why did he also redact his own logs? It's just so funny to me. Yeah, the amount of charitability is crazy. I don't think I'm saying anything that unremarkable. But it's I think this is a very intentional thing.
I don't get the point. I don't care anymore. I don't want to do hours and hours of streaming over these fucking crazy people saying insane shit in Jstalk server. What does this mean? Like, he's sick.
He deleted his logs a long time ago. You guys are actually insane. I personally would say that the individual that records people without their knowledge or consent and then unconsensually sends that to a third party, I think that person is probably more fair to be labelled as insane. But you do you, Sweeper. You do you. Why don't you fuck off back to DG, you fucking rapist in waiting? Holy fuck, dude.
Of streaming while that shit's going on? Is that what you're saying? I've known such chatted with this girl since like April, but it's basically never been sex or anything until a little bit like 2 weeks ago. I know it's not why I'm not talking about on stream, just so retarded.
Can't both be bad. Both are bad, guys.
Avocado of collab win.
Thank you very much. Making an arguably excessive claim on the basis of information available is bad, but so just the same as fucking dude. Come on, dude. You cannot be serious. Bro, I can't wait until you freaks are all gone from my community. You will rape. You will fucking rape without question.
Also, I'm fucking dying. I don't have fucking flu or what the fuck. It's AIDS.
Bro, it's like he threatened to do this with Anna. Right? Threatened to leak her nudes if sex got leaked. But the idea that he's implicitly threatening by doing this is too much for you to consider. I mean, dude, you're so lost. You're so lost at this point.
Every random girl I've ever spoken to is deciding to dump random flighty logs and shit in Jstalk server, saying I'm some weird manipulator abuser when in reality they're dumping random flighty logs. Why the fuck wouldn't I just wipe all my shit when I don't feel like having my personal messages blasted by every random dipshit online? Just every woman he's ever spoken to is just randomly going to Jstalk server to dump logs of how he's being just totally normal. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Imagine if anyone else tried spinning this story. Imagine how Destiny would react if anyone else was claiming that it's just every single woman was desperately flocking to a Discord server to dump logs claiming this guy was an abusive manipulator. He would say, well, it's very fucking unlikely that all of those women are lying. There's probably something happening here. I've heard him say things like that
that's wonderful.
many times.
How do I make money
It's the basis for so many Me Too allegations that he's been...
Would it be if one of these women gave DHIV?
Thank you for the $5.
Totally okay with, you know? And it does make sense. It makes sense, obviously. If there are a bunch of people saying something about the same person, you can verify interactions with them. Like, yeah, that starts to look a bit suspicious. Obviously, you can't prove anything off the back of that alone. You need some more heavy substantiation. But it's absolutely fucking concerning. And we've got more. We've got allegations of you recording without consent. We've got seeming admissions, which could not be admissions, we don't know. But could be admissions of you recording without consent in those messages. We've got proof of you sending images slash videos of people without their consent. Also, yeah, I just wonder, like, how much this guy deleting? Is this guy gonna... Is this destroying evidence? I don't know. I don't even want to speculate on that, to be honest, but...
Yeah, I don't know what
it's
that
just,
is.
yeah, this guy's crashing the fuck out. And someone for special ed school.
Doesn't Destiny's take that you shouldn't have to SDs your partners make more sense now, boys? Well, if I recall correctly, it's bizarre in some way because I'm pretty sure that he had that take in regards to HIV, assuming that your viral load was like there's a with HIV. If you're on retroviral medication, whatever the fuck it is, you can actually reach a point where it's pretty much impossible to transmit to your partner. So I think his argument was, if that's the case, you don't have to
so many
say.
Girls, so much goon. We are talking giddy levels of lube now. Watch your ass down there.
Pans, thank you for the for that. I mean, I just think that, you know, regardless of even if your viral load is 0 or whatever the fuck it is, you should probably still have to let someone know. And then you explain as part of that, well, it's at 0. This is what that means. You can't. It's very difficult for you to get infected. Da 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 da. Right? Okay. But then I'm fairly certain that if I recall correctly, didn't he say that if you don't reveal you're trans, that's tantamount to rape? Oh, am I misremembering that? He did. Okay. You gotta remember, I'm not like Queeman. Okay? Queeman has fucking covered Destiny extensively. Forever, basically, since he started streaming. So, it's a bit of a weird inconsistency where it's like, okay, so you think it's tantamount to rape to not disclose that you're trans, but then you think it's fine to not reveal you've got HIV on the basis that you've got an undetectable zero viral load scenario. So in any case, I just think that, you know, yeah, it's just kind of a bit weird and inconsistent that it's self-centered. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not saying I don't think that Destiny's got AIDS, but I don't know if he's got other STDs or had them in the past. But is that like a sort of soft self-defense of like, well, I don't tell people, and that's okay. But then the trans thing is like, well, I want someone to tell me if they're trans, so I know what little treat that I'm getting when I get down there.
Witness what? Like Zoe talking shit about him and how much she hates / thinks his stream is disgusting, even though she's in there now, lapping up all the attention she can get. It's not worth it. I have zero interest in these fucking losers. Getting some weird leak back and forth is gross and stupid. I'm not furthering anything productive at all. I mean, that's you engaging in that. You were the one getting involved in a leak back and forth.
Wait, you just done that, hasn't he? Also, I'm pretty sure this author Ben person, I remember there being another thing of chat, and I think before this author Ben person was actually defending Destiny and was still dick riding him, but now he's IP banning him as well. Like, there's so many people getting banned at the moment, it's crazy.
Most of these people are friends I've had for a long time. That Hannah girl is a former heroin addict that added me back in April. So in April, you started hitting up former heroin addicts. Sorry, not hitting up because he'll cry about that sort of presentation because he didn't hit her up, she hit him up. You were like, so I'm a huge e-celebrity trying to break into the mainstream, and there is a former heroin addict messaging me on Discord, and because I've got such good dick discipline, because of my Vyvanse usage, I'm going to message back. Huh?
That's crazy. That is insane behavior.
You are no different. There is no way you are any different. This is the exact sort of degenerate behavior people are talking about, is getting involved in these crazy relationships with obviously like vulnerable, you know,
Okay, that's
insane
wonderful.
women.
But how do I make money off depressed
Like,
people?
yeah, this is...
Did you have to declare your 10 kilograms of prep to tie customs on your recent holiday?
I did. I need to get prepped up, obviously. Thank you for the super chat.
This is not only how he has managed to exploit seemingly several people, but it's also how he ends up getting blowback. This is why Dan is begging him to stop doing this shit. This is why Dan is like, I really like, he's a change guy. I'm really relying on him being a change guy. Because no one around you wants to be around this shit. Obviously.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Destiny must be like that one vault made to...
Well, yeah, Dan's obviously
store
lying to himself about
prices
Destiny
for
being changed, for sure.
True, Pyro. Thank you. The super chat.
But the point is, Dan obviously wants Destiny to not do this shit. Right? Dan's life would be a lot easier if Destiny wasn't doing this shit. I do now, yes. That's one of the great lessons I've learned over the past 3 months. What's he replying to here? I don't know. Oh, wait. I just realized this chick deleted messages. One sec. Finding older screenshot, Lamau.
Chat, has this coverage reached the empath Chan woman yet? I mean, dude, I'm not getting into all of that, but apparently, yeah, there's this person called Empath Chan, and it's another woman that Destiny's been knocking about with, who is like some insane person too, apparently.
Lamau, holy shit, is she an actual Jstalk secret agent?
Huh?
What? Jstalk secret agent?
Okay.
What is this guy talking about?
Interesting.
This guy's gone fucking insane.
What, dude? What is this? This is ridiculous.
What are we even communicating with these different logs? What is happening here?
Yeah, I don't understand what any of this is.
How do which ones the new ones? Which are the old ones? Okay.
What's the
Wait,
difference?
aren't these the same ones we just saw? Wait, but those are the same ones we just saw, no? Okay, whatever. Whatever, man.
Yeah, it's obviously just
Lol W.
again,
Compare bottom to top and see what she deleted. Lol W. Anyway, fuck all these people. Back to being sick. Dude, this guy's like so fucking desperate. Just repeat, this is the second day. Is it second day in a row? No, second time this week where he's counter-leaked to just not contest the narrative whatsoever. He did this with Lonerbox too.
Yeah, dude.
In the case,
the way he dealt with the Lonerbox stuff was honestly like despicable, because Lonerbox was trying to give like kind of a heartfelt message about what had happened and his perspective on it, and you know, he was critical of Destiny. He did spend, it seems like, more time talking about like President Sunday and Mike from PA and Hassan, and people are interpreting that as like he doesn't care about Destiny did or something like that. I think it's simultaneous. I think that he is probably annoyed quite a lot with people who are speculating about his relationship under the auspices of caring, but they actually just wanted to shit on Destiny. And also, I think he was probably concerned that Destiny, if he went too strongly on him, would do some sort of backlash on him, right? And lo and behold, what happens when Lonerbox talks about it? Okay, he doesn't even say anything that crazy. He just says that what he thinks Destiny, what Destiny did was really bad and really wrong. Okay, but Destiny is watching it, and he again tries to do this weird fucking narrative spin, where he says that Lonerbox is misstating what had happened and was getting the series of events wrong, which I don't even think is true. I don't even think that's true. But he claimed that he did, and then released messages to show that he'd reached out to Lonerbox first to be like, yeah, I put someone close to you in a bad situation. Sorry about that. Don't worry, by the way, I'm not going to retaliate, but if you don't want to do content anymore, that's fine. You know, this kind of, it was a softer smear, but it was this weird kind of smearing of Lonerbox, acting like he was dishonestly presenting what had happened, when he hadn't really done that at all. Again, his obsession with narrative control being that he's got to ensure that Lonerbox is, you know, putting something out in the right way that adheres to his kind of perspective on the matter, you know? When it's like, Destiny's just plainly in the wrong. You know, he has taken an action that has negatively impacted Pixie, who is close with Lonerbox, you know?
case of Lonerbox, it was basically just, look how good of a person I'm being in these DMs. And in this case, it's, look how bad this girl wanted to fuck me. Like, dude, this does nothing. This is completely worthless. And saying, Lamau, Jstalk secret agent. Dude, if anyone else was behaving like this, claiming there's some grand conspiracy to fucking take him down, he would be mocking it, like, so hard. It's absurd to try and behave like this, to try and act like this. You know that level of coordination between a bunch of internet retards is, like, borderline impossible. This would have to be, like, a months-long op to get you. And rely on you leaking Pixie's nudes to some random Discord girl 2 years ago. Thank you for the £5, and rely on you recording people without consent too.
I'm picturing Dan Lyquote from Death Note hitting the purge logs button as he has a stroke reading the new leaks.
Thank you for the £5.
I don't know. If it's not on Twitter or on stream, who cares what Destiny says? As in, I don't think it's narrative control when it's in some niche chat. This chat has got offline normally thousands of people in there, and it tends to represent the core of Destiny's community. And Destiny relies on the fact that his community will go out and fight the good fight for him and defend him. So it's having a dual impact of insulating his core community from broader criticism, and also making it that people will then hopefully go out and defend him in some way. Do you see what I mean? So I just feel like this idea it's a niche chat, I just don't think that's true. And I think that this just serves as, you know, a defense of Destiny's actions, where it's like, well, no, he's stating this in a reasonably sized chat, in a way that I think is quite manipulative. I think it's totally reasonable to be critical of that. I don't think it's like, oh, just because it's not on Twitter, like it doesn't matter if it's not on Twitter or on a stream. If anything, this gives you a more pure interpretation of what he's saying that isn't polished or, you know, softened in some way for the benefit of a broader public perception.
Thank you. This is just like totally absurd. Oh wait, there's another one as well. Sorry, I missed these messages, I think. Because only every single random ethot has been thirsting like crazy for me in DMs, trying to out me as being manipulative or some shit. Her doing the hey baby, I don't out any advances, then sending me a pic so she can post about a day or two later in Jstalk server is wild, lol W. It's not 2 days later, it's like 3 weeks later after you've been outed for a bunch of shit, dude.
Okay, anyway, I think that's it on this. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of touch on this.
Fell for it again award. Fell for it again award.
But I think we'll move on to the Lonerbox stuff now. I'm a bit bored of this, all this Destiny
What's
stuff,
this?
to be honest.
Hey guys, so I'm sure you've heard about the...
Okay. So, anyway. Let's move on to this. I'll do a quick intro, because we'll probably turn this part into a segment. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. There has been... I'm going to state it plainly. I'm going to state it plainly. There has been an absolutely disgraceful, absurd, and disingenuous allegation that has been released about Lonerbox. Okay? The reason I'm preempting this so hard is because I feel really bad for Lonerbox. Lonerbox has had like a terrible time of it, okay? Let's put it that way. And now, this absurd allegation in which, to state it plainly, I don't believe he's done anything meaningfully wrong. It's just like adding on top of that, whilst he's trying to take some time away because of all the crazy shit that's happened recently.